Hello, hello. Let's make sure we're live.
Hello.
Seems like we are live.
Hello, world.
Let's turn down the music a little. Hello, welcome to this Nimer and Outdoors Tech Adventures, whatever the title is called, with Kirt being left out for so long channel.
Yeah, I resent this.
Hello and welcome. Today's, whatever today's date is, November 18th?
18th.
Yeah, there we go. And we're navigating to Thanksgiving today. And,
I hope we can find it.
Yeah, hopefully we can find it. And, yeah, we were actually just talking about a rebrand of the channel, so stay tuned for that, or if you have ideas about what that should be.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Kirk's going to be getting more involved, and maybe he won't be a mystery guest anymore. Maybe I'll be the mystery guest. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Glad that we're all here. Kirt, how's the beer?
The beer is great. I mean, well, I'm not going to say it's great beer, but it's great having beer.
Excellent. So we're going to hear Kirt going to the store today and getting beer.
Yeah.
So that's what I was asking, because he tells us in a upcoming recording that he was getting beer.
Yep, beer and Monster. I live off of those.
Ah, and Monster. Okay, cool. Does that make you a monster, or how does that work?
I suppose. I don't know. Maybe I've fought monsters so long that I became one. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Glad everybody's here. Of course, today we have some news, and we'll go through some of the articles as usual. And we have some navigation to talk about. Kirt's going to tell us how GoodMaps Outdoors is a really great app. Certainly is better than it was working for me anyway, hopefully.
We'll see.
And he has a completely different phone than I do, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then he's going to contrast that with Nearby Explorer.
Right.
Or Explorer, or whatever it's called, but it's dead, so I guess it exploded.
Yeah, something like that.
And, yeah, who knows what else we'll talk about. Maybe figure out something to talk about. Navigation. And I think last week I gave everybody an apology, so if you missed that one, go back and listen to that one. That was about, basically that it came out, something about how I said that people should, should never veer, and some other crap like that. So maybe we'll do a take two, and I'll try to reverse the crap. And so we'll figure out what I actually was saying.
Oh, God forbid you say something people don't like.
Right, exactly. So that's what we're going to do. And, yeah, so get your popcorn. If you haven't liked it, hit the like button. If you hit the dislike button, no one will see it anymore, so too bad for you.
Right.
But you can dislike it anyway if that's what you really want to do.
Yeah, if you want.
And there we go. So let's maybe turn off this music.
Yeah, it might get in the way of the news.
There we go. Might get in the way of the news. Well, let's see. First article in the news is... Let's see.
Looks like Motorola's making new phones.
Motorola's making new phones, yeah. They're always making new phones.
Some of these looked like actually kind of good buys, though.
You've got one with a 888 Snapdragon, which is a very high flagship processor. 888 Plus, actually.
Yeah.
Just quite high end.
Might make your phone explode.
Yeah, apparently. So that's the G200. It's a flagship phone for the price of $450, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a Moto G71, and that one's coming with a Snapdragon 695, 6.4 OLED screen. Apparently the G200 doesn't have an OLED screen, so
Well,
I'm not really sure how they choose what to put in a phone, but this thing has 128 gigs of storage, 6 gigs of RAM. It's built from plastic. It has an SD card slot, 5,000 milliamp battery.
they always have good batteries in their phones.
Yeah. Then we have a Moto G51. This is reminiscent of Samsung's numbering here.
Right, I was just going to say that.
Let's see. It's available in bright silver and indigo blue. Cool.
Ooh.
It's larger than the G71 with a 6.8-inch screen. I'm not sure why we're getting more for a lower price here.
Yeah.
They seem a little bit confused, I think. Snapdragon 480 Pro processor, which is very much low
end.
range. Budget.
Even though
budget
it says
specs.
Pro.
Yes. 64 gigs of storage. And 4 gigs of RAM. That might have a struggle.
That reminds me of that Braille Note Touch Plus I got rid of.
Right. And that one's also made of plastic. And apparently it weighs 208 grams. What a nice heavy phone.
Woo.
You might use it as a baseball bat. Then we have a Moto G41. Well, we're getting down there. And let's see. What's this one here? This one seems to have an OLED screen, 6.4 inch. That's interesting.
Yeah.
30-watt charging. 3 cameras, and it's running, of course, a MediaTek processor at this price. No 5G support. Built from plastic.
Surprise.
It's running the MediaTek Helio G85. MediaTeks tend to be kind of budget to mid-range.
Yeah. Their flagships are getting better, but I'm not sure they're still at Qualcomm level.
Nah. 128 gigs of storage, micro SD card support with up to 1 terabyte of storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and I think that's probably the worst part of this phone.
Yeah.
5,000 milliamp battery, 30-watt charging. Let's hope it does better than the Pixel's 30-watt charging.
Right. Did you talk about that last week?
Yes, yep. And then there's the Moto G31. This is kind of the bottom of the barrel here. Mineral gray or baby blue for the colors. 6.4-inch screen, though we're not sure if it's OLED or LCD, according to this article anyway.
Ah, well. Probably LCD, I would guess.
Yeah, this device comes in 64 or 128 gigs of storage. That's good. It gives you the option at least. Charging speed is reduced to 10 watts. Ooh, wow.
Wow.
That's like iPhone 5S days or something. I remember they always used to include a 5-watt charger in their box.
That's like iPhone 10 days.
Right. Yeah, I suppose so. It's also made of plastic. Let's see. MediaTek Helio G, whatever, 85, just like the one above it. 64 or 128 gig storage, micro SD card slot, 4 gigs of RAM. So not much different from the 51 or whatever, 41 or whatever one above it was.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused. Anyway, the only thing I would say about Motorola's phones is, they seem like maybe they're good deals on the surface, whatever else, and they generally run okay in terms of accessibility. They're generally relatively stock, but you won't get updates. And that is a serious concern with Motorola's phones, is the updatability. If you get updates for more than about a year, you're doing great. And if they come... if you get updates next year and it comes within like 8 months of the last update, then you're doing pretty good. So, very slow updates. Alright. And then there's another article about this Moto G200. Maybe we'll go over this
That one
phone.
looked kind of interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. This one, 888 plus. And no more headphone jack. Kish kish. It's made out of plastic. Very good.
Yeah.
Let's see. 6.8-inch display. IPS LCD. TFT display. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know
sure
what any of that
means. The
means.
last display made of TFT. Let's see. 888 plus. 128 gig storage. 8 gig RAM. 5,000 milliamp battery. 33 watt fast charging. Has a fingerprint reader, face unlock. Has a bunch of cameras, 108 megapixel camera for the primary lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel micro depth sensor, and they have a 16 megapixel front camera. No headphone jack.
That's not. Yeah.
2 microphone, bottom facing speaker. Doesn't sound like they're stereo speakers. Wi-Fi all the way up to AX 6E is included, which is excellent.
Yeah.
Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, GPS, AGPS.
That's good.
LTEPP, not sure I've heard of this one. Or SUPL, whatever that is. GLONASS and Galileo.
Oh yeah, I know GLONASS and Galileo. Does it have the Chinese one? Whatever it's called, Beidou?
Baidu. Nope, I don't think it has Baidu. Or Baidu, or whatever you say it.
Right.
Dual SIM in certain regions, like Europe. Software comes with Android 11. We have Android 12 now, and this thing's shipping with Android 11. Very good. So that means that probably within, I don't know, a year, it'll be getting Android 12, and that's about all you'll be getting. So, IP52 water resistance. It has a Google Assistant button. Ooh,
I mean, that's kind of nice.
yeah. They don't say how many upgrades it'll be receiving. So.
Yeah. So at that price, why don't you just get like a Pixel 5? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I would actually I like Motorola software. I like Motorola's phones. Generally, they're pretty decent phones. I can't deal with their lack of updatability. Like, that's the biggest thing. The Motorola Edge Plus, man, those are some sexy phones. I really like that phone a lot. But
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one who said that.
updatability. Yeah, the updatability was just terrible. Okay, well, I guess we should move on from phones. That took a while. Let's see, Microsoft Edge 96. They've adding price notifications. When you're shopping, you can figure out if somewhere else has a lower price, or if the price goes lower. And easy password updates, because they want to be your password manager, and they want
Oh, lovely.
Update passwords and
Yeah, don't let your browser be a password manager, people. Like,
yeah, better off using 1Password, Bitwarden, LastPass, KeyPass, any of these. Just use one of those. You're better off. By the way, 1Password 8 is out now, and from an accessibility point, I like 1Password 7 better, but I mean, it's usable.
okay.
So,
How is it compared to Bitwarden? Because that's what I'm on right now.
yeah, certainly I think 1Password has more features, and the accessibility is probably similar.
Okay.
They have a lot more features. So one of the things they've just recently added is the ability to create random email addresses. So when you fill out a form, instead of putting in
that's
your email,
nice.
you can just autofill a random email. And of course, they do link up with privacy.com, and that way you can have random card numbers and create those.
That's cool. Okay.
So yeah, I really like 1Password, but there we go.
Nice.
Pixel Stand 2nd Gen. That was announced last month with the Pixels, and now you can pre-order this thing. It's a wireless charger. It'll let you get up to, I think, 25 watts.
Yeah, around there.
Of course, we found out the Pixel doesn't actually charge at 30 watts, so it'll be interesting to see what... Maybe 25 watt means 15 watts.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It'll be interesting to see what this charger is like, but anyway, it has a built-in fan similar to some of the Samsung stands. They have built-in fans too, although with the Samsung one, it only works if you have a Samsung phone. I mean, you can wirelessly charge other phones, but it doesn't turn on the fans.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this Pixel stand. I'll probably get one and at least report if the fan turns on when you put other devices on this thing.
I would hope so.
By the way, the fan in the Samsung one at least is pretty quiet, so it's not like what you would think of a fan. It's not even as loud as a laptop fan or anything. Unless you were in a dead quiet room right next to it, you probably wouldn't really hear it.
Okay.
But anyway, you can pre-order this thing, so feel free. I really love the title of this next article.
Yeah.
You can now violently shake your phone to report Instagram problems.
Seems like Facebook's had this for a while.
Yeah, so some apps will do this. If you shake your phone, then you can submit feedback, or just I know some of the blindness apps had this. Nearby Explorer, for example, I think, or maybe Lazarillo, one of them has this feature where you can check a box, and once you do, you can shake your phone, and it'll do something.
GoodMaps is supposed to, too.
Yeah, GoodMaps, yep. So now we have this feature in Instagram. So if you're using Instagram and you want to submit feedback, just very violently start shaking your phone.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do it all that violently, but, you know.
Don't get the cops called on you.
Right. Make sure don't throw it when you shake it, because I can't promise your phone might survive. So
I've actually done that before.
Right.
So
let's see. This is good news from Apple. They are allowing consumers to buy the components they need to fix their own phones, and they're going to provide repair manuals for some of the most common things like screens and batteries. This may not be something that a lot of people will do, and certainly if you're not comfortable with the process,
then you shouldn't do it.
Probably better take it to a shop or something like that. But at least you can buy the parts, and you can have access to it, and you can do your own repairs if you do feel comfortable with that. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, me too. And hopefully,
in combination with having 5, 6, 7 years of updates, it means that less phones will be going into landfills. And I think that's a good thing.
And hopefully, We all saw how the industry followed Apple on the headphone jack and taking the charger out of the box. So, hopefully other companies follow Apple here.
Right, I agree. This is a big one in the UK. Amazon UK is no longer accepting Visa.
Yeah, this was really weird to me.
This seems like it's going to hurt Amazon a lot more than it's going to hurt the consumer. But apparently Visa's fees in the UK are really high. And so Amazon has decided, we're not going to deal with this. So, too bad for you. Can't use your Visa if you're in the UK. I can't imagine them doing this in the US, where probably everybody has some kind of a Visa debit or credit card.
Yeah.
Some banks certainly use MasterCard, but I'd say most of the ones I've seen are Visa, the bigger ones anyway, the big few banks. The Bank of Americas and the Chase and the Wells Fargo's and the.
Well, I think even the Amazon Prime card that I have is Visa.
I'm pretty sure that's Visa. Exactly. That's a Visa card, so. Yeah. But anyway, if you're in the UK, better go to Tesco or one of your other shops.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's this next article here? Something about a Pixel 6.
Oh, the fingerprint sensor.
Yeah. Apparently some reports or something like that about the Pixel fingerprint sensor was a bit slow, and Google's released an update. So.
Is it any better? Like in your experience, or have you?
I didn't notice that it was being bad, so.
Okay.
I guess it's better. I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was ever like S21 quality, because they're using an ultrasonic, bigger sensor that's faster. I wouldn't say it was ever at that level, but I've never had any issues with it. So, I don't know. Let's see. If you want to know when Samsung is releasing One UI 4.0 with Android 12, you can look at this article. Verizon's actually already started releasing it on the S21, the Ultra, which is actually pretty fast.
Yeah, that's really fast.
So, one of the cool things with that update is going to be eSIM support. Finally, they've been promising this for the S20 and the S21.
Yeah.
And like European models have had it, and for whatever reason it's been locked down. But now, in the US, you'll be getting eSIM, finally.
Yeah, about time.
Now that it's time to buy a new phone.
Right.
eSIM. Let's see, T-Mobile. No, this one is something you'll be interested in. T-Mobile's 5G. Yeah. They've announced that it is now available for 200 million pops.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird metric. It's like points of presence, or like it doesn't necessarily mean 200 million people, from what I understand. It's like
no, it doesn't, and but it is in a lot of the metro areas, and it certainly is making the network a bit faster. Unfortunately, at least for me in this area, I haven't found that it makes it more reliable, because I still have issues with calls dropping where I don't have that with other carriers. I still have issues with, like, for whatever reason, all of a sudden I'm talking and people just stop being able to hear me, so then I have to call back. I still have issues with the occasional text taking a long time to send, or in any kind of an app, like even like Telegram or something. I send something, it just takes a while to send. And I have issues with, like, some of the handoffs. I mean, I can be in a place where I'm getting 700 megs down, above 700 megs down, which is great. And then I walk 5 feet, and all of a sudden it's all the way down to like 50 or less.
Yeah, my experience hasn't been that bad, and I actually have noticed the past couple months it's gotten a lot better, but like they've had a lot of room that they needed to get better with. I've never really had problems with calls dropping, but I'll still have the odd Telegram message that takes 20 seconds to send, but, like, it's happening a lot less than it used to. I think this ultra-wideband, at least in my market, is helping some. But,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best network, because it's not.
I also think, and now they're starting to use more standalone 5G, but, like, the ping times in a lot of instances are still really high for standalone 5G.
Yeah.
Like the LTE pings with AT&T and Verizon in this area, at least in most places, are actually lower than T-Mobile's 5G standalone, which I don't really understand.
Not good.
Yeah, that's not really that good. And the jitters are usually a bit higher. And I've seen other, speed testers and things they speed test, and they're getting these really fast results, but your pings and your jitters are still pretty high. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for C-band if for when we ever get C-band.
Right. Yeah. Good luck.
It'll be interesting to see. Right now, the FAA is, kind of making a big deal about safety, even though it's used in other countries without any problems, and like there's a big gap between frequencies and whatever. There's things that I don't understand about it. So maybe one day we'll get C-band and Verizon's network will magically improve. But at the rate they're going, T-Mobile is certainly leading 5G, although I don't really think that having an icon and having 700 megabits per second really adds up to the experience that I see on the T-Mobile network.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think, it's better here, but I totally hear what you're saying, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it's like, the best network, or that they don't have a lot of work to do, because they clearly are still working from behind.
I don't know if you heard about this one. There's something about how's the Galaxy Buds or something that's causing people to have infections.
Yeah, and I use these. I'm actually using these right now. I love them, and I haven't had this issue, but I switched out to memory. Right. But I've had memory foam tips on mine for a while, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but I switched over to the Comply or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I always switch those. You get more comfort and probably a bit more durability and probably a bit better seal.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, if you're using these Samsung Buds, maybe something to be looking out for. They might cause you to have ear infections. And I suspect maybe it has more to do with the tips being used and less with the headphones, the earbuds themselves. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I certainly haven't had any problems, and I have these in my ears for at least probably 2 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Somebody, PC Mag or somebody went out and did some speed testing comparing the Pixels and the Samsung devices.
Yeah, I saw this.
They're not really giving any information we didn't already know.
Yeah.
But, the Pixels are not using Qualcomm modems. They're using a Samsung modem from 2019. And the Samsungs are using the latest modems. One bit of information I found that was a bit strange, though, is with the Samsungs, they seem to have issues with handoffs.
Yeah.
In rural places. And so that was kind of interesting, or with low band, maybe. And like the results in mid-band weren't actually that much different. It's the millimeter wave where you really notice a big shift. But anyway, the Samsung the S21s are faster if you care about faster. Although at this point, if we're getting up to 700 megabits, gigabits, like, does it really matter at this point? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure it does.
Let's see. Oh, Verizon is going to charge you $5 more if you'd like to link your phone number with Alexa. Oh, sorry, I just woke up some of your speakers.
Whoops. I'm glad I've got headphones in.
But if you'd like to pay $5 more, you can now make calls with Alexa. Oops, I just woke it up again.
You gotta be like Linus and call it like Alex A.
Yeah, there you go. If you order a Samsung device on Best Buy's website, you can set it up so you can pick it up from Best Buy same day, which is pretty good, I think. I like that.
Cool.
Yep. I'll be interested to see what that does for the inventory at Best Buy, though.
Yeah.
But, I think that's pretty good.
I hope I'll be able to do that in a few months with the S22.
Yeah. If you buy it straight from Samsung, certainly you should be able to. And I think that's about it. Some of the other articles I've already talked about, so there we go. That was quite a lengthy news section.
And it seems to be a trend lately.
Yeah, I think last week's was nice and snappy.
Helped that you didn't have me there to just throw in weird comments here and there.
Maybe. That must be it. Okay, well, if you're still here, you kept up with us this long, please hit the like if you like it, share it out, snack chap it, put it on tweet, Instagram it, just don't shake your phone too violently when you do it.
Yeah.
Facebook it, whatever. And thank you very much. We truly appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
For watching, listening, whatever it is. We don't really do the video thing.
Right,
so
yeah.
If you want video and you'd like to work on that, or you got some eyeballs, get in touch.
Yeah.
But it's not something that we really care that much about, so.
Have we got any comments?
We do have a comment. Yeah. Let's see here. We've got a comment from somebody about the outdoors GoodMaps video from last week.
Okay.
Let's see. Blink Tech. Let's see. You've had more trouble with GoodMaps, and I have. As far as updating the location, I think you should give GoodMaps a call and see if they got some suggestions for you. Yeah, I've reached out to GoodMaps support, and they always want to know. They've reached out to me a few times in the last probably 6 months or 12 months because I have the same issue with their other app, their GoodMaps Explorer, and I tell them this is the device, this is the Android version. Here I have like multiple devices, and as we're going to see, Kirt experiences similar issues, maybe to a little bit lesser extent. He actually got a little bit more information out of it than I did. But it seems to just not be very good at updating information. It does on the iOS side, but on the Android side, I can't put the phone in my pocket and get any information out of it. I can't just walk without having my finger constantly on the location button and have it update my location. In fact, for me at least, when I was walking around with it touching the location button, it didn't update. But even if it does, I think we'll see what happens in Kirt's case. But
yeah,
I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure it's just how they've developed that app. But for whatever reason, it doesn't really update location. Certainly not very well, and certainly not as to the extent that Nearby Explorer updates location. I can put Nearby Explorer in my pocket, and I have a Bluetooth headset on, walk around, and it easily reads out approaching intersections, passing addresses, anything that I have checked. Whereas with GoodMaps, it just pretty much dies, like it just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and I suspect it's probably because there's not as much demand here in the States for the Android app as there is for the iOS app. That might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I don't know if that's the resources they're putting into it, which devices they're testing with. I haven't tested with older devices, so I'm not sure. Like, are they testing with Android 10? I really can't be sure, but I do know with Android, the latest version, Android 11 and Android 12, the app isn't working, and not the way that I would think it would be working anyway. And
Yeah.
and it's just unfortunate. So, to anybody's listening, when I give feedback about a product or something, I do reach out to the company. I provide them a link to a video. I ask them questions. I reach out on various places, and so I am giving feedback. And they can do what they want with it. And certainly, if other people aren't reproducing it, and you'd like to come on here or record something for us, Blintech, and you want to show us how location works, please do that, because at least for me, it isn't working. So,
yeah. And I mean, you'll see the demo I showed today. I had similar issues. I was able to get it working a little better, but it still wasn't up to Nearby Explorer level.
Yeah. Now let's just see. Do we have any other comments here? Nope. I think that was it. So thank you guys for the comments. Feel free to leave any more comments that you have, and be happy to answer those. And if you're listening live, feel free to put those in the chat as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
And now Kurt's going to play his demo, and so I'll mute myself, and Kurt will play his demo of.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think he'll start out with GoodMaps, and.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I walked over to the gas station with GoodMaps, and then I walked back with Nearby Explorer. So let me share the screen here. All right. Let's make sure I share my audio. All right. So I've got a screen share going here. And I will go play this first recording. So I do apologize, the stereo. I think it's probably because I haven't done very many recordings before. The stereo audio was a little bit quirky, but I think next time I'll have that figured out a bit more. So if you are using headphones or stereo speakers, you'll notice that my voice tends to come from the left side, my screen reader tends to come from the right, but hopefully that doesn't distract too much from the experience. So,
Files. Recording 202.1118-1.
First, let me do the GoodMaps, and I'm going to start that recording now.
Audio player.
Oh, let me go to the start. Hold on.
Audio player. Recording 202. Unknown artist.
4111 USA. Here, 27600S, Salt Lake City.
Oh, the YouTube keyboard shortcuts don't work. I was hoping they would. Sorry, I'm going to rewind to the very start of this here. I should have done that before. Hello, everybody. I am here in front of my apartment, and I'm going to just do a quick demo
Volume
of
76%.
GoodMaps Outdoors. I know Nimer did one last week. I think I've had a little bit better luck with the app than it seems like he has. Although there are still some annoying quirks that I'm going to show you here. So let me first open the app.
Faster. Slower. Faster. Slower. No next link. Google Play Store. Search. Showing Braille keyboard. Finder.
You can see me fighting my phone here.
GoodMaps. Submitting text. GoodMap. No next link. No. GoodMap. Your GoodMaps Outdoors.
GoodMaps Outdoors.
GoodMaps Outdoors.
Loading user data. Please wait.
GoodMaps Outdoors. Location edit. Here. 555S200E. Salt Lake City. 84,111. USA. Edit north. Here. 555S200E. Salt Lake City. 84,111. USA.
Okay.
Here. 547S200E. Salt Lake City. 84,111. USA. Here. 161E600S. Salt Lake City. 84,111. USA.
So,
Heading southwest. Heading southwest. Heading
now
southwest.
as I flick through the screen,
Heading southwest.
it'll
Heading southwest.
accurately say, like I am headed south.
Heading south.
Now I'll flick back over to the location.
Here, 555S200E, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 27600S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA.
It's a little off there. That street's coming up.
27600S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA. Here, 27600S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA. Here, 27600S.
Oh, and look, it did not tell me that a street was coming up here.
Here, 27600S, Salt Lake City, heading south.
I'm gonna go
Heading south.
get to the gas station because I want to get some caffeine.
Heading south. Heading south. Here, 555 S200E, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 27600 S,
So-
Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA.
I flicked back over to the location focus toggle thing.
JR car architects,
27600 S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA.
Now it tells me that the street's
Salt
here.
Lake City, 84,102, USA. Here, 27600 S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA.
Alright, I'm
Here,
crossing.
27600 S, Salt Lake City, 84,102,
Here.
USA.
Do.
27600 S, Salt Lake City,
Chirp,
84,100. Here, 27600 S, Salt Lake City, 84,102, USA. Here, 176,600 S, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Heading southwest.
Oh, and see, that's really annoying that it won't.
position acquired.
Heading south. Heading south.
Okay,
Heading south.
I am headed
Heading south.
south, that's right.
Heading south. Heading south. Here, 550. Look around one. Off.
So it's not very good at actually announcing the location with the voice in the app, right? You kind of have to have it open in your hand and flick between the different elements on the screen to have it read them out to you, which is not good. You know, something like Nearby Explorer you can have in your pocket. You can have bone conduction headphones on. Or, you know, your Galaxy Buds, whatever, in ambient mode. Come on, parallel traffic. Those are still the cars in front of me moving. I had to cross the street both ways, so I'm just waiting for my light to change here.
Here, 555. Direction northwest. Direction west. Intersection. Direction northwest. Intersection ahead. 740 feet. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard East. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. 269 E. West.
And that intersection is not 740 feet ahead. That intersection's right in front of me. Just if anyone cares. Man, this light's taking its time. Come on. There we go. Don't know how good the stereo is here, if you can hear the idle cars off on my right side.
Position acquired.
So, like, that's my main takeaway from this app, is when it's supposed to announce location, it does it very spotty. So in order to get the most out of this app, at least on the Android side, you kind of have to have it open in your hand while you're walking and flick through the screen. And when you do that, it's decently accurate.
Intersection ahead. 0.2 miles. E700 east and west of State Street. US 89. South and north.
Pardon? Okay, now it's saying that intersection that's ahead. That's actually not the intersection that's ahead. It got one of the streets right.
For info. Intersection ahead. 0.2 miles. E700 east and west of State Street. US 89. Heading south.
I am headed south.
Here, 555 S200 E, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 610 S200 East DB, Salt Lake City,
And so when you flick between the toggles, it's almost like it kind of has to refresh.
USA. Heading south.
See, I am headed south. Let's see if I go back to the approaching intersection element on the screen, if it refreshes to be right here.
Intersection ahead. 0.2 miles. E700 east and west of State Street. US 89. South and north.
Nope, didn't refresh.
For info.
And I do have it announcing location on in settings. I turned all that on.
Intersection ahead. 0.2 miles. E700 east and west of State Street. US 89. South and north.
So the intersection it's saying ahead is one that's about a block west of me. I'm headed south. So it got the east-west street right. It's going to be 700 south. But it did not get the street it's intersecting with right, because I am on 200 east. In fact, I'll flick back over there.
Heading south. Here, 555 S200 E, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 660 S200 East 300, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA.
See, there we go. Again, it had to, like, refresh and be like, oh, no, this is actually where we are. We aren't where we were a few minutes ago.
USA. Here, 657 S200E, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 660 S200 E 300, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA. Here, 203 E700S, Salt Lake City, 84,111, USA.
Now it's saying I'm near.
203 E700S, Salt Lake City, 84,111,
So that 700 South Street should be coming up. Although, oh look, I'm here. I'm here at the corner. It didn't announce it.
USA. Here, 203, heading south.
Now a lot of times it does a better job than this at announcing corners, but it's very inconsistent. Like. Oh, no, I can't cross. That dude turned. Man, I keep hitting these lights at the worst time. There we go. Hello.
Acquiring position.
Okay, it's still acquiring my position, I guess.
Position acquired.
All right, whatever. I'm still a block away from this gas station, but I hope that gave you a sense of where this app struggles. Now, again, it's pretty useful for knowing where you are, but you have to deal with that quirk of flicking over to the location on the screen and then waiting for it to refresh and be like, oh, we're not actually where we were 3 minutes ago, we're where we are now.
Intersection ahead, 741 feet, E700S east and west of State Street, US 89, south and north.
No, I'm not on State Street, GoodMaps. Stop it. All right. Well, that's enough for now, I think.
IQMP for your showing item. Google Play Store. Close all. Google. YouTube. More options. Button search. Close all. Google, YouTube, advanced. Advanced outdoors. More info. Routes tab. IQMP for your recorder. IQ. What UIO. IQMP for your IQ. Google Play Store. IQMP for your recorder. IQ. List. Button. Freeze basic. Current. Stop. Button.
All right, so that was GoodMaps Outdoors. Now, a couple things I have to say about that recording are that was one of the worst performances I've had out of the app. The other few times I've tried it, it's been a little bit better at telling me where the cross streets were. But again, I had to keep flicking through the screen to make sure I was on the location element or the approaching intersection element or, so it didn't, even at its best, at least on the Android side, it hasn't been really good at just telling me that information without me, babying it along. So if it sounded like I was making fun of the app or being critical, I didn't mean it that way. It was just, that's just what this app does sometimes, is it'll, give me an address a block or two away, or say the approaching intersection isn't actually the intersection I'm approaching. And, I'm obviously a block from my house. I know the area very well. But I feel like that could actually be kind of confusing in a place you don't know. You don't know how the address system works so much. I feel like that could cause some problems. So I hope... Oh, because I was echoey. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I just muted the screen share so I can unmute myself.
Right. Yeah.
I think some of it has to do with maps too. Which maps are being used, and that's part of it. And I think another thing it has to do with is course location accuracy and in a specific area, especially around other buildings or anything like that. And of course, location depends on the device being used and
Right.
a number of these things. And so I just want to make it clear, like, I know that we are aware of these things, but these are just our own experiences. I don't go out of my way to bash any product just because I really want GoodMaps to work. I really don't want to say that Nearby Explorer, this dead app, is still the best GPS app. I would love GoodMaps to be, because I'm selfish and I want a good GPS app. And for me, it's a requirement that I have a good navigation app. I have other mobility skills, but just the fact that there's a really good GPS app is very helpful. I like to go outdoors in areas that aren't even on a street map. And so having a really good GPS app and is able to do lat, longitude, etc., that stuff is really valuable to me. And that's where Nearby Explorer is still a lot better. But of course I realize that it depends on the maps that are being used, and with Nearby Explorer, since it has so many map options, you can really change the entire experience of using the app simply by changing which maps are being used. Whereas with GoodMaps, you're kind of stuck with seemingly not very good maps, and on top of that, an app that doesn't actually update your location. And that's just not very good.
Yeah, and, I'd be curious if any of you who use GoodMaps on the iOS side, what your experience has been like.
Yeah, so I have used it on the iOS side because I wanted to try it and compare it. And, maybe that's next week's recording. We'll do another week of GoodMaps.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, on the iOS side at least, it updates location, which is pretty good. After a while, it seems to stop. I'm not sure why, but, it updates location. I still have issues with the maps around here, and this is a very populated area that you would think the maps would be super great. But whatever maps they're using don't seem to be great maps. I think they're using OpenStreetMaps, and depending on on your area, they can be worse or better. But so I still have issues with the maps, and I still have a lot of issues with certain features not being present in the app. And I think that'll just probably always be the case, where there's not really a great watch feature, there's no equivalent to GeoBeam, you can't get latitude, longitude, there's no a lot of these things it doesn't do. So even if it worked at its best, which the iOS app works okay, certainly better than the Android version, I would still say Nearby is a better app. I don't want it to be that way, but...
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. And look, the things I was demoing here are just very basic. Nearby has some other, like the watch feature in the Nearby app. You can have it track, say, where you park a car, or you're driving with somebody and they park a car in a parking lot. You can have it keep track of where that car is in a parking lot.
Right, I do it to watch a trailhead. That way when I go out on a trail, I have an idea of how to get back. I know a rough heading and I know a rough distance that way I know how to get back.
Yeah.
And with the GoodMaps app, you can do a get warm feature, but get warm is kind of like a GeoBeam, but it only really works once you've added a location, and I would say it's not really GeoBeam anyway.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of that's dependent on you have to make a route there, right? You have to have it route you, which in my mind that's kind of limiting because maybe you don't want it to give you turn-by-turn directions. Maybe you just want it to kind of give you a rough idea of where the thing is.
And I haven't tried the turn-by-turn directions, but honestly, if it can't even tell me where I'm at now, I really don't want to try the turn-by-turn directions. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. And now, as you'll see with my Nearby Explorer demo that I'm about to play, Nearby Explorer is not perfect at this either.
Yeah, it seemed to work a lot better for me, and maybe that also depends on settings and the map used as well.
Yeah.
I know that you were having some interesting issues that I just don't really see with that app, but it's interesting.
Yeah, but even with those, it was doing a better job for me than GoodMaps did.
Yeah.
And even with, I guess I can go ahead and play the Nearby Explorer of me walking back from the gas station, just to kind of give you a sense of, so, in hindsight, I made a couple of mistakes here. I had GoodMaps open while Nearby Explorer was also open, so that might have interfered with the GPS a little bit. I was also using Google Maps. I don't know that I would want to change to OpenStreetMaps for this kind of thing, but that might have had something to do with it. Anyways, as you will see, Nearby Explorer wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better.
Multi-select. List box. More options available on the app. Gas station Nearby Explorer Kirt has beer. Black. List item.
Gas station Nearby Explorer Kirt has beer. Here we go. All right, here's my Nearby Explorer demo.
Audio player. Unknown artist.
Nearby All right, now I just want to contrast that with Nearby Explorer and why I prefer the old app still. Although GoodMaps I think is getting better. That last recording from GoodMaps was a little worse than it usually is, but it's what happened, so I'm going to go with it. Alright, so let's open Nearby Explorer.
Google Assistant search. Showing real keyboard. Finder. Y. Nearby. Space deleted. Nearby. Nearby Explorer online. Nearby Explorer online.
Your red box.
Show
Red
by
line.
119.
8411 by 175.
Alright. I have acquired my beer
Download complete.
and acquired my caffeine.
By 774. 600 south ahead 0.3 miles.
See, look, already it's telling me where the next street is. There's actually one in between.
By 153. 900 south ahead 0.2 miles.
Huh. So it's actually giving me the wrong information because I'm not headed towards 900 south. But
By 756. Near Lowell Apartments point of interest at 756.
there we go. See, I don't have to do anything. It's just telling me how I've customized it.
By 771 to 751.
What to tell me here.
South ahead 790 feet. By 199 to 107.
That's the street I'm going to be crossing soon.
Near Leslie's grooming point of interest on South 200 East.
Leslie's grooming. I wonder who Leslie's grooming.
By 749 to 739.
I'll turn the volume up on this a bit.
South ahead 0.3 miles.
No,
By
900.
720.
See, so it's just kind of the nature of these.
Near Utah Department of Workforce Services local government office at 720.
It's just kind of the nature of
By
these apps
737 to 725.
to sometimes give you wrong information. But like it already told me what my next intersection is.
600 south ahead 0.2 miles.
Not 600 south.
By 723 to 707. South ahead 0.3 miles.
No.
By 706. South ahead 700 feet.
There we go. Now that's a little far away, but that's, you know. Okay, whatever, I'll cross.
Near Capo Alliance point of interest at 714.
Huh.
By 723 to 707.
Position acquired.
Oh, I guess I still have GoodMaps open. Trying to
Main Street ahead 0.3 miles.
No.
By 703. State Street right side 0.2 miles.
All right. Now I'm crossing 700 south after I just crossed 200 east.
By 701.
Acquiring position.
No, GoodMaps, stop it.
You know
Position
what?
acquired.
I'm gonna make GoodMaps be quiet here. Once I get across. All right, let's make
699 to
GoodMaps.
671.
Let's make GoodMaps shut up.
I can easier. More transit button. Favorites. Search button.
No.
I can close all. Nearby. Google. Telegram. Settings. Device. GoodMaps outdoors. Advanced. GoodMaps outdoors. Actions. Close. What do I owe? Device care.
There we go. And now, so just for example, I don't even have to have Nearby Explorer open, and it should be telling me what's in front of me.
Your consulate of New Mexico Embassy at 660.
See?
By 678.
Now, if
669.
I need to know what street I'm on here, you can have it set up so to tell you the street you're on every time. I just turned that off, but like if I open up the Nearby Explorer app,
IQ. Free space 89. Current recording 30.
come on.
Nearby Explorer. Close all. IQ. Nearby Explorer on. Nearby Explorer online. Favorite. Transit. Nearby. More options. Pause. GOP. Compass. Radius down. Radius level. Button.
I'm just
Table.
flicking through everything here.
Something. Settings. Button. State Utah. County. Soul. City. Soul. Zip code. 84. Heading. North. Touch. Street number. I-669. Street name. South 200 East. Object.
All right, so yep, South 200
By
East.
676.
I
Teleport
turned.
side 780 feet.
I don't know if you can hear it says
Street name. South 200 East. Object. Checkbox.
it says not checked there. I turned that off because I don't need it to tell me what street I'm on every time it
By 657.
says a new address. Like right
Your
now.
Utah State Bar point of interest at 645.
Utah State Bar. Ooh. I'm guessing that's not the kind of bar that I like.
By 669 to 641.
But see, that's another thing where Nearby Explorer is
By
better.
676.
Is it's a little more accurate at announcing things, although not perfect, obviously. Right? It was still telling me there were some streets ahead that were behind me, whatever. That's just kind of the nature of a GPS app. You just got to deal.
By 211. Near Utah Law related education point of interest on South 200 East.
Now it should be telling me I've got an intersection coming up here any second.
By 212. Near U City Administration Office point of interest at 210. By 639 to 615.
I can hear the intersection. Come on, Nearby Explorer. See, people who don't even want to entertain the idea of a cane replacement, I've got like 4 bags on one arm and holding a phone in one hand, and I would love to be able to have the other hand free to carry some bags right now. But no, canes are sacred. You can't even talk about that.
By 613 to 601.
It might not tell me the street's coming up. Oh, it's not going to tell me about the intersection. Let's see if it does if I flick through. Oh, and I just missed my light, damn it.
Description, check. Flight description. Nearby City Administration Office. Guidance, check. Approaching, check. Checkbox. Guidance, nearby description, check. Flight description. Watch, check. Checkbox. Speed, 0.1 mph. Latitude, and 44. Altitude, accuracy, 11 feet. Not checked. Check. Nearby Explorer online.
By 212.
Nearby Explorer online.
Yep.
Nearby Explorer online.
So,
More options, button.
this is a good demo to show that no GPS app is perfect. Usually this one tells me about this intersection here, but they won't always do that, right? So you have to be willing to not trust these things completely. You know, these are supplementary tools. These are... Oh, here's my light. Oh, but there was a turner. Let's wait a second. See, they're kind of like the audible street signals, right? They're a good tool to have in addition to your other mobility skills. But like if I would have trusted that audible street signal just barely, I would have died because a car turned in front of me and I would have thought it was my time to go, right? So you can't trust those completely. Wow, I made it across just in time. Cool. So, all of these apps, these GPSs, these, hey,
500 south ahead, 630 feet.
See, now it's telling me the other street.
Nearby Metro Apartments, point of interest at 555.
And I'm almost back to my apartments. But my point is,
599 to 565.
there is no, there's no magic solution for not practicing and not getting the skills yourself. Right? GPS isn't going to do that. Nearby Explorer would come a little closer to doing that than GoodMaps does, I suppose. Especially with some of the other features in Nearby Explorer that I haven't even showed today. But here I am at my apartment, so I'm going to end this recording. This has been a very brief Nearby Explorer comparison to GoodMaps.
The host muted your mic.
Pause button.
Cool.
Multi-select. List box. More options available on the action box. Audio player. Window.
Oh.
Unknown artist.
Yeah.
Files. Demo record.
There we go. I'll actually mute the real thing.
There we go. All right. Yeah, you made.
Anyway, one thing that struck me when listening to that, it seemed like GoodMaps was having a trouble acquiring a fix, and Nearby Explorer seemed to think that you were on another road. Two questions for you. Were you surrounded by some tall buildings?
Yes.
Yeah. That always degrades GPS performance with any app, even Google Maps. If you were traveling with Google Maps, it would not be unusual for it to think that you're on one street instead of another street.
Yeah.
So with tall buildings like that, there's always going to be some kind of performance degradation.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I'm wondering what your radius was set to. Was it just at the default?
I might have changed it. Why do you ask? I don't know.
Because it definitely changes what is announced and how far away things are announced when you're walking. In terms of points of interest, and I don't know. I'm not sure that it impacts intersections. It might not, but it certainly does with points of interest.
So what do you normally have it set at?
When walking, if I just want to know what's near me, what's the closest things to me, especially in a city where there's a lot of things around me, I have it set to the smallest amount possible.
Okay.
But if I know there's some gap in between things, or if I don't want it to announce as many things, I might increase it. But I certainly do adjust the radius depending on what I'm doing. But I'm asking just because, yeah, it definitely seems like maybe there's some kind, in that particular area, there's some issues with accuracy.
Yeah.
And probably with any app. But I tell you what really struck me is you had GoodMaps in the background there.
Yeah.
And while Nearby Explorer was happily announcing a bunch of things, intersections, this, that, and it wasn't always the most accurate, but it was happily announcing tons of things. The best that GoodMaps could do is say, acquiring, okay, you're acquired. Acquiring.
Right.
Okay, you're acquired.
Yeah. And, like, even though Nearby Explorer wasn't the most accurate, I mean, it was, like 80% accurate? And because I knew, like, which direction I was walking, right, I kind of knew when it was off and when it was wrong, or, when it was right.
Yeah, but for you, it seemed like you actually had to touch the things on the screen, and
in
I'm
GoodMaps,
not so
I
sure.
did.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that's a realistic expectation for people. especially if when you touch these things, it's always just going to keep repeating itself. Like one of the things that really annoyed me about your recording was it just kept repeating over and over and over the location, and sometimes it was right, sometimes it was wrong, and
yeah, no, it wasn't good. And that's
and I wasn't actually looking at. I mean, I did look at the screen a little bit just to discover, oh hey, the location is wrong. So then I had to close the app and reopen the app. At least for you, when you touched it, it updated. But I'm not so sure that's still a good thing.
well, I mean, it means that you don't have that hand free, right? So like if you're walking around, and I gotta tell you, I was struggling a little bit with 4 bags on my arm and my phone in one hand and my cane. Like, it would have been nice to have my phone in my pocket there.
Yeah. Hey, Strap is running out of time to meet their commitment by Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
yeah.
Hey, Strap, if you're listening to us, I'm kind of wondering whether you're actually a real company or you're just fleecing blind people out of their money at this point. Because you keep saying that you're going to be releasing was supposed to be by July, and then by August, and then by the end of Christmas. And I don't know. I haven't heard of anybody receiving pre-orders. In fact, I think Kirt and I, one of us, and Marco at the time, we were supposed to be getting a demo unit, and we haven't even gotten those.
Yeah.
So, Strap, I don't know. I don't think you're listening to this, but if anyone does work for Strap or actually knows if this product is real, I'd be interested to know. Because
yeah, I'm curious. I put a deposit down because I was interested in the technology, but we'll see. I guess.
I mean, I know that there have been demos because I have seen a demo at a conference. This is, and I know a couple of other people who have as well. So I know that they've done some prototype testing, but I'm just curious to know, is this product real? And if so, when do they plan on actually getting this in people's hands? They were actually opening up for second round pre-orders to be out by March, but it seems like they're not even going to hit their December. But I don't know. I guess we still have a month to go, so could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess
I shouldn't judge them too early.
Maybe they're afraid of announcing another deadline that they can't meet. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, I definitely think that hands-free solution would be great. And I definitely 100% also agree with you that you have to learn the blindness skills because a GPS app is you can't rely on it, just like you can't rely on the audible pedestrian signals.
Yeah, but they're nice. They're nice things to have.
Certainly nice to have. They'll give you a little bit more information, and if you're deaf-blind, they'll give you about the only information that you could have if you have one of those vibrating audible signals.
Yeah.
So it's fine to use them, rely on them if you want to, but yeah.
Yeah, and I will say Nearby Explorer usually performs a little bit better than that.
Yeah, in most areas, I would say it performs a lot better than that. I don't know about your area, certainly, but when you're not surrounded by a bunch of buildings, and the thing is, if you're surrounded by a bunch of buildings, your satellite reception is poor because you're not getting a clear view of satellite, but even if you are, it's also bouncing around because of all the glass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not a great environment for receiving signal of GPS satellites. It's kind of similar to being indoors with like a glass roof or something, or indoors by a window. Like, you'll probably get reception to some extent. You'll pick up some satellites, but it won't be very accurate.
Yeah. But even that was usable, So.
Be interesting to see if you went out somewhere that didn't have a bunch of buildings, what Nearby Explorer would do, or GoodMaps would do, I don't know. I mean, GoodMaps still doesn't really seem to announce locations, so. Anyway, we've kind of rehashed the GoodMaps thing to death. I think our views are that GoodMaps is still not very good. They're certainly improving. Have improved. The Outdoors app has improved over their Explore app. But I'm also a little bit confused about the name. Like, why is one Outdoors and one Explore? And the one that's Explore you can't really use to explore. And the Outdoors one is kind of not really updating location. I'm not...
Yeah, I mean...
What's with the strange names? Maybe we have to ask them that question.
Yeah, well, if they ever want to come on, you know.
Yeah, we should invite them for sure. I mean, I did invite them a while back and never heard back from them. But you know, I was thinking that an Explore app would mean that you would take it outdoors and do some of the things that the Outdoors app did. But it seems like people reported so many issues with the Explore app that instead of fixing the existing issues, they just went out of their way to buy another app and create that version for the Android. They just bought the Seeing AI or Seeing Eye GPS.
Yeah. Seeing AI.
Yeah, not Seeing AI.
Yeah.
Seeing Eye GPS. They bought that and then they created that version for Android because it didn't exist for Android. So it seems like instead of fixing up the issues with the Explore app, they're kind of like, we'll just abandon that. We'll keep that one maybe for indoor exploration. Maybe they should rename that one GoodMaps Indoors.
GoodMaps Indoor, yeah.
I don't get it. But anyway.
Yeah, and look, I'm one of these people who's going to be using Nearby Explorer as long as it will let me, I think.
Oh, I will too, yeah.
And I'm encouraged that it's still here.
I mean, hopefully another solution comes along, but, and when it does, I'm happy to see it. If GoodMaps Outdoors improves, I will be delighted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm hoping so, and I would love that too. But what I will say... In the meantime, if you're someone who wants more than what GoodMaps Outdoors is giving in the current state of things, and you are on the Android side, I can't do anything for you on the iOS side, but if you are on the Android side and you don't have the APK, shoot me an email, and my email is manwaringkirt@gmail.com. That's manwaringkirt@gmail.com, and I can help you get the APK. I would rather have people have something that meets all of their needs until GoodMaps Outdoors gets to that point. So, I hope that's okay for me to say, but...
Oh, well, you said it. It's too late to take it back now. We're going live, so... By the way, YouTube, I have no affiliation with Kirt. I don't know who he is. He's just some person. He's a mystery guest on my channel. Don't come after me. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. And if you're on the iOS side, you're stuck because iOS does not allow for side loading of APKs on the or third-party app stores. So unless you have it already in your library, unless you've already purchased it, you have it in your library, in which case you can get it. Otherwise, too bad for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, this marathon is probably good that it comes to a close, huh?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, probably so.
And I think next week we'll probably take off. I don't know if we're going to meet up for Thanksgiving. Maybe we will. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But anyway, if we don't see you, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day. I would say remember the food banks. They were hit pretty hard because of COVID. A lot of people had to use them. So if you can, give some donations to them and or drop off some turkeys. Remember the food banks in your area.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the time with your families. And thank you very much for making us part of your day. And we'll see you all next week or the week after or whenever we come back. Maybe we'll be rebranded by then. Who knows?
Yeah, could be.
Kirt, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yeah, same to you. And same to all of you watching, or listening, or whatever you're doing.
Goodbye, everyone.